It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's do this. Good afternoon, Hampton Roads. Good afternoon, East Tennessee, and East, of course, Northeast North Carolina. I'm thinking all the regions right now because at 4 o'clock, normally I wouldn't be here. I would actually be on the news or with the team members of the First Warning Weather team. We'd be on television. But because of our programming, maybe a programming change, at least for today, I'm going to be doing a live stream here for the next 10-15 minutes. I'll be back, though, at 7:40. To be fair, we still have a lot of weather to talk about, and rain will be the big item up for bid. Tomorrow night, it's going to come in mainly at night. I want to show you how cold it was this morning. As you can see here, 28 degrees in Norfolk. It was 31 in Virginia Beach. Now, this is cold, but nothing like what it was earlier in the week. By Sunday, as you know, we fell pretty cold all the way down, remarkably cold during the course of this time frame. So let me go ahead and move this forward if I could and show you that generally we're talking about temperatures that are going to be on the cold side. So let me start this over 1 second here, see if I can get my map to move. And if I'm not, I will have to, yes, there it goes. So high temperatures, come back on this screen here. Might be easier to take it on my other camera here, which is on the full screen. We'll come back over here. There it is. So 61 so far has been the high today. If you keep it tracking here, keep track, the normal high is 54 this time of year. 57 in Newport News. We've hit 61 in Suffolk, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, and Elizabeth City. Our friends in Wallops have hit 60 today. Way warmer than I expected to be. I thought we'd be at least in the mid-50s, but most of the clouds were maybe thinning out in spots, and that southwest wind certainly did take over. It certainly had a bigger impact on our ultimate temperature solution here today. But you can see as we move forward in time, we're generally going to be back into the warmer weather. If we move this back here, you can see that we're currently at 59 in Norfolk, 60 in Virginia Beach and Currituck, 59 in Elizabeth City. That's where we stand at the moment. And I can tell you, as we look at the regional temperatures, most of us are still going to be talking about 47 Beckley, 56 in Raleigh, 59 in Hatteras. If you're on the call, I would love to say hi to you. Last night I had some notes from Luke Alvarez. He was on here saying hello. Hi to Luke. That was about 20 hours old. And I had some other notes here from Taj Brown. And Arthur Cole was on here also saying, awesome job. Thank you for the update on the weather. So we could do this and just kind of highlight really some of the big spots. The fact that it was so warm here, even back to the west, it's not as cold or as brutal as it was just days ago. Mid-40s for Columbus, Ohio. Clearly a lot warmer in Virginia Beach now at 60 degrees. That's where we stand at the moment. So we're going to keep moving. Talk about the temperatures. Yeah, we're talking about the astronomical start of winter. That's going to be the other aspect here because that starts actually on Sunday. So move this forward in time. Let's see if I'll get this to come back. Yeah, it's December 21st, 10:03 in the morning. That's when we officially say hello to the winter season. Season's greetings, as it were. Could be argued that happens on Sunday at 10:03. And we'll be talking about the fact that the sun is directly over the Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere where summer is just a few short days away. So yes, summer is just a few short days away for South America and Australia, but winter technically is starting for us this Sunday at 10:03. Solar energy is greatest in the southern hemisphere. You can clearly see that on the screen. So 10:03, if you're making notes or maybe you want to schedule a tweet, you can send that out to somebody that you know and love. Just checking in with you if you've got a comment. This would be a great time to import your notes. If you have a follow-up, I don't normally do this at 4 o'clock, but since I'm here and you may be here, I'll do my best to put you on the screen. If you have some notes, I will keep moving. But I can tell you the first day of winter is just now, 4 days away? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4 days away. Here are the weather headlines as I see them. Yes, we're looking at more warmth on the way. 50s and 60s in the week. We're in the 60s now in many cases, maybe the upper 50s. But next rain chance comes later tomorrow night and into Friday morning. Mostly sunny Saturday. We should be in the 40s, but partly cloudy Sunday in the 50s. It will be, I'd say, near normal, if not slightly below normal, particularly on Saturday when temperatures are only in the mid to upper 40s. Surface map shows we've got a warm front draped across Kentucky. We have a little trough moving through South Jersey all the way up to Maine and sliding through the Commonwealth of Virginia, where some showers have been present across the Smoky Mountains and back across areas in not far from Roanoke or even perhaps central sections of Virginia. Most of what we're seeing here, though, are some clouds and maybe some thin spots over Manteo, Rodanthe, and maybe back toward Hatteras, where the clouds may be a little bit thinner. So here's what I expect. Tomorrow, lots of clouds. Now the rain I don't see really coming in until after dark, and the sun sets at 4:51. So if you're taking note here, the fact that the winds tomorrow are going to be generally in the, let's say the wind's about 5 to 10. That's, I think, a fair assessment for tomorrow, and they'll be generally out of the south-southeast. So we should be easily in the mid-50s by noon, and it should be around 64 now for high temperature tomorrow before things start to get a little bit colder heading into Friday. Because Friday we've got a cold front coming in, and the showers will only become more numerous as we head down the road. Just checking in with you if you got a comment. I do see some notes that might have been in from last night's live stream, but we're just looking at some of these notes here, and we can see that our temperatures are going to be all over the map the next 5 days. 64 tomorrow. Okay, that kind of helps one figure out how to dress or how to dress the kids. But what happens when Friday? When it's actually tumbling, that's what that arrow would suggest, 62, but then we're back to 47. That's a big drop on Saturday, even though it's mostly sunny on Saturday. And I think we're going to be about 10 degrees warmer from there on Sunday at 57 degrees. I do see a new note coming in. I think it's coming in here. If not, I will do my best to put it on the screen. I see Alexander, it says this wind is horrible today. So if you didn't like the wind today, you're really not going to like it Thursday night, because we've had a gust of wind today around 29, I believe. Yeah, 29 miles an hour. That happened at 1 o'clock. At Norfolk International, you may have had a similar time frame when the winds were strong, but they will slow down a little bit tomorrow and then come racing back tomorrow night and into Friday. Let me show you the surface map. We're looking at this area of high pressure over the ocean, mild air here, and then once this front comes into town, it scoops up or maybe slurps up some of the moisture from the Gulf, slides it into the Tennessee Valley, picks it up across Georgia, South Carolina, and we can expect, as you can see here, the big deluge coming in on Friday morning. So this is 4 a.m. A lot of the rain here is falling across much of the mid-Atlantic, and it's moving across parts of the Outer Banks at that time, where it might wake you up if you're a light sleeper. Maybe a rumble of thunder, but if you look really closely, there's a little bit of orange in here, which is why you would also notice that it's picking up some of the moisture just south of South Carolina, pushing it in here. So you may find higher rainfall totals in and around the Outer Banks. We'll look at that here in just mere moments, but I want to show you this. This kind of sweeps in, sweeps out. By the time we hit the second half of your Friday, this is, of course, at night, but it's going to be nice and sunny for the second half. Well, at least Friday afternoon, it's going to be much brighter than it will look, at least when it starts in the morning, because the rain is still going to be pulling out. And once we move into Saturday, it looks great, mostly sunny. We'll continue a partly cloudy day on Sunday. Wind gust forecast, really not that strong tomorrow. These are the top wind speeds, showing 17 for the eastern shore, about 14 for south side. And then once we get into tomorrow evening, maybe slow to pick up, but tell me when you think it's really noticeable. Right there, 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Oh my goodness, we're gusting probably closer to 40 for the Outer Banks, about 38 for the eastern shore, and it's getting pretty gnarly. So if you thought the winds today were bad at 29, how about 39, 38, 32? And we're not done there, because you can just carry this right into 45. Do my eyes deceive me? What time is that? Oh, I'm asleep. 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Many of us are probably asleep. But if the winds are howling and you're feeling the brunt of the winds and the rain pounding on the window, you might be wakened up by the rain and the wind. It's going to be a combination of two. And if you get a rumble of thunder, don't be surprised. But that's what we're expecting from the wind forecast as we head into Friday itself. And then by the time we hit Friday morning at sunrise, roughly 7 a.m., you're looking at winds still gusting around 30 and maybe a little bit still consistent around 30 at 10 a.m. Friday. Now, the rain chances, I've talked about this before. 80% on Friday seems like that's exorbitantly high, and it really is if you break it down primarily in the morning. So if I were to take this one step further, you can see that I have no rain on Saturday, no rain on Sunday, and no rain on Monday. You say, well, that's great. That's wonderful. But what about Friday? I got Friday plans. If you have Friday plans, take note. This is how I see it breaking down. I put the line in there for your convenience because that's where Thursday and Friday are separated. Once we hit midnight, I think that's when we reach a fever pitch for the downpours. The fever pitch for the rain will be coming in around midnight, lingering into about 4 a.m., and then by the time we hit about 10 a.m., it should be gone. Most of it should be dry by the time we hit 10 o'clock, if not noontime, on Friday morning into the afternoon. So just want to let you know where things stand at the moment. If you have a comment, leave me a note. I will certainly put you on the screen. I'm looking to see if I have the right, maybe I've imported. It's possible I've imported the wrong comments. That would be terrible. Let me make sure I've got the right ones. Let's see here. Yes, I was importing the wrong one. That would have been the reason. But now that I got the right ones on, I do have some comments, and that just took a little bit of help and a little bit of help. See, Alexander did have a comment. It was, this wind is horrible today. I can't disagree. But now that I've shown you the wind gust forecast, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And it will slow down a little bit tomorrow, 5 to 10. But once it gets dark, Thursday night, 11 o'clock, it's hello wind. And the rain will be picking up in intensity. So, Alex, thanks for that note. I got some prayer hands from our dear friend Janice. Hi, Janice. Great to see you. And, of course, we have Cameron Dale is on here. I want to say hi to Cameron. Looks like it's going back cold after Christmas. I do think that's true. I think we'll get a swing, do-si-do. We'll get some cold air. And I'll talk more about that during my live stream at 7:40 tonight. You can catch it later because this is the abridged version. I've gone to 11 minutes, but I hope to be done here in the next 4 minutes or so. So this is just a recap. If you're just joining us, you're going to be waiting all day long for the rain to arrive tomorrow. I thought you said it's going to rain on Thursday. Well, it's pretty slim pickings through 8 o'clock, right? 30% chance, tapping your foot. That weatherman said it was going to rain on Thursday. Well, yeah, maybe a little bit, but it really spikes after dark. By midnight, I think we hit the fever pitch. Does that make sense? Trying to make it super simple. And the rainfall forecast shows about an inch. Latest information here. Didn't want to actually update. Isn't that terrible? Let me see if I can get this back on here. Bear with me. I will do my best because I think this is information we want to see. Don't you? I personally would love to see this. Love to see where this model now takes it. If I have this right here, there it is, 0.6. So if I'm looking at this correctly, if I'm looking at this in the right frame of mind, you can see that we have, let's see here, my rain bars, here we are. So we'll put this first here. Yeah, let's just go ahead and put this back in motion. One of the things I think it's interesting to see in this scenario is that most of us are going to be somewhere between a ½ inch to an inch. There could be some locally higher amounts. Let me see if I can put this back on screen here. Let's see if this will fly through. Hopefully it will. Yep. So we can add the other potential is about 0.6. If this is not lining up, that would be on my mistake here. Let's see if this will come through. I hope it does. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. There it is. So there you get a sense, right? 0.6. The one bullseye seems to be the Albemarle. And it does show on the European model, which this is the graph, it's a different model. It was showing that bullseye in the Outer Banks. So somewhere between, this would suggest, 1.5 inches around, say, maybe Elizabeth City, maybe around not far from Edenton, about 1 inch, but maybe lesser amounts in green down here in parts of the Outer Banks where it's about 0.4. So there could be a sharp demarcation or cutoff where you have heavier rains in parts of North Carolina and maybe a ½ inch to 1 inch in other spots. So this is just, again, just a guide. It's guidance, it's not gospel. The other rainfall potential, which was maybe been harder to see, is also in keeping with about 0.7 for Cape Charles, maybe closer to 1 inch in Edenton. They're 0.9 suggested here. That's how much rain we could expect perhaps by the time we hit Friday morning when it's pretty much on its way out of the picture. I got a note from Taj. He's like, yeah, first morning live at 7:40. Yeah, it's a little early. This is a special edition because we, in lieu of a 4 o'clock newscast, which apparently we're not doing tonight or this afternoon, I will be back at 7:40 with a more extensive First Morning Live and all the goodies that come with my live stream that I normally do. But just wanted to give you the forecast in bullet point form here. It's now 4:14. I'm going to wrap things up here momentarily. So the next rain chance comes in tomorrow at night. There's 5 o'clock, and you can clearly see there's not a whole lot here. I mean, it's like you have only a 30% chance. If by 5 o'clock, you're still tapping your feet, waiting for the rain to get in here. And it takes all day, if not the evening, before it does arrive. And once it gets in here, there's 8 o'clock. There is 2:30 in the morning. There's that spike in the coloring here. This is the yellow area, the locally heavy rainfall. So, yeah, I expect there could be more rain totals or higher totals for the Outer Banks and the Albemarle, but not everybody's going to get the same amount in all spots. We'll just keep an eye on that for sure. Now, as far as what I can see here, we can advance this even further. You can see it sweeps in 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Not a lot to see other than a few more lingering showers. But if I clear this off, you can see that once we get into the afternoon, didn't mean to put that in there, you can see that it sweeps out and sweeps on. All right, so let's see if I can get this to topple off here. Yeah, we'll get back on this, back on track, hopefully here in mere moments. I'm trying to figure out how I took that back on, but we'll go back on here and start with this particular slide. Hopefully this will come through. I've had some issues here with my graphics. You can clearly see some toggling on at this juncture. Let me see if I can get back on this. And if not, we'll go through this a little bit easier now. So I can just go ahead and skip through. We've already seen these maps. So let me get to the futurecast. Here we go. 5 o'clock tonight, I see clouds, right? You do too. By the time 7 o'clock rolls in, we have a light wind out of the southwest at 6. Really little wind by 11 o'clock tonight. And those clouds will still be with us tomorrow. So does it mean you can't get sunshine tomorrow? There could be some spots. You can see some around the eastern shore, maybe a few areas west of I-95. But by the time midday arrives, maybe we get a sprinkle around Edenton, around Chowan County. Maybe the sun breaks for you at noon. That's when I think we're going to see our temperatures spike into the 50s and 60s. By 3 o'clock, it looks like this. 4 o'clock, tell me when you think it looks bad. Well, you said it was going to be bad at midnight. Yeah, there it is. Midnight might reach its fever pitch. Maybe it's even worse at 1 or 2 in the morning. That looks pretty wet. And those winds sustained are around 19 on this image, so you can clearly see there's a lot to factor in here. 4 o'clock in the morning, now we're still dealing with downpours and maybe a rumble of thunder in red near Elizabeth City or around Edenton, and that's just the way things are breaking down from this particular standpoint. So, yeah, a lot of rain going on, 4 in the morning. This is the height of it, really midnight to 4. Based on this modeling, it's still very, very soggy and is not likely to get much improved until sunrise on Friday morning, because by sunrise Friday morning you can clearly see, come back on there, you can clearly see from here that the rain is starting to move out. So 5 a.m. looks like this, 6 a.m. looks like this, and if you're out the door at, say, noontime, even then, I think you're going to see some big improvement overall. It is now 4:17. Temperatures tonight will be in the 30s, about 37 south side, 39 peninsulas, 36 around, say, North Carolina. Tonight's lows, 35 Chesapeake, 36 in Melfa, about 42 for Corolla, and 32 for Murfreesboro. Thursday afternoon, 64. We hit 61 today. Wouldn't be surprising if we're warmer tomorrow than we were today, about 58 for the peninsulas. And again, that might be pie in the sky, but that south wind or south-southeast wind tomorrow should push us up, especially if the clouds break. About 63 for Edenton, 64 in Windsor in Bertie County. Here's your first warning, WTKR, News 3 7-day forecast. So I've got rain mainly at night tomorrow, early rain to sunshine on Friday. We fall from the low 60s, and then we've got 47 Saturday, 57 Sunday, and then we've got nice sunshiny skies Monday of next week, as we're now getting closer to Christmas Eve. Ooh, are you dreaming of a white Christmas? Well, keep dreaming. Not this year. We had some snow about 9 days ago. I guess it was the 19th. No, it was the 8th. The 8th of December, we had 4, 5 inches, some 3 inches from Gloucester, Yorktown, and also Williamsburg. So the snow that we had already this season, you'll have to look back on your camera roll and reminisce, because I don't see any issues with snow. It's going to be pretty warm as we head in toward Christmas. By the way, I have a couple of happy shots for you. If you are dreaming of a white Christmas, how about this dog from Florence? This was Virginia Beach quite some time ago, but it does gift you back to maybe the holiday spirit. Even the squirrel was loving the flakes back in the day. I believe this was from last February, when we did get a lot of snow in Virginia Beach and Norfolk on the tune, or to the tune of 10 or 11 inches. But the squirrel enjoyed it, right? There's some memories for you at Newport News. And in Hampton, Lynn Sherry captured this beautiful bird, the blue jay, here in Hampton. So wanted to say a special thanks to all of you. And again, if you're just curious what that forecast looks like, we're in the 60s tomorrow, 60s and falling on Friday. We'll easily drop into the 50s and 40s later Friday in the day. As the sun pops out, we're in the upper 40s, mid 40s, 47's mid-upper on Saturday itself. If you're on the call, just want to say hi to you. Wrapping things up here, it's now 4:19. I've gone about 20 minutes, which is a good time too. But I will see you all coming up at 7:40. If you want to watch again, I'll have some more updates for you. Taj wants to say hi to Kim Thompson-Jones, and Kim Thompson-Jones reminding you that everybody that she's around, she's on Team Snow. She's rooting for Team Snow. And some of you are on Team Summer, Team Spring. I get it too. But this time of year, there's just something magical about a snowflake. I don't know. Shake up the snow globe. That might be the best way to get around it, because obviously it's going to be pretty warm just to support some rain this go around. Again, just want to remind you, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or serious, every day is a gift. We'll see you here at 7:40 p.m. later tonight for more updates on the weather. We'll see you soon. Take care.